right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. And this one is, well, it's a little bit different. We're diving into some pretty philosophical stuff today, but I think it's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah. Definitely some thought-provoking material for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about this idea of untapped potential. And the source material for this deep dive is actually, it's a preface from a book.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it uses this really interesting metaphor of cemeteries.
Cemeteries. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know about you. Have you ever really thought about cemeteries in this kind of way before?
Not really. I mean, they're places of, remembrance and loss and...
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But this author presents them in a totally different light.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So basically the author argues that cemeteries, they're actually the wealthiest places on Earth.
Wealthiest places on Earth? How so?
Yeah, it seems kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
But the idea is that they hold the unrealized potential of all the people buried there.
Wow. Yeah, that's a powerful way to look at it.
Right, and the author, uses all this really evocative language, like talking about, dreams that never came to pass, songs that were never sung, inventions that were never created.
Yeah, it really makes you think about all the possibilities that are lost when a life is cut short.
Exactly, and it's not just about, people who have passed away. It's about the potential that exists in every single one of us.
Absolutely. I mean, we all have this incredible capacity for growth and creativity, and yet so often it goes untapped.
Right, and later on in the preface, the author actually talks about running into some former classmates.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and it was kind of a sad encounter because they had all this potential back in the day, but now they seem kind of lost. Like they're not really living up to what they could be.
Yeah, I think we all know people like that, and it makes you wonder, what are the factors that contribute to that? Is it societal pressures, personal choices?
Right. Like what are those obstacles that get in the way?
Exactly.
And the author actually poses these questions directly to the reader, like, who am I? Why am I here? What am I capable of?
Oh, those are some big questions.
I know, right? Like really deep stuff.
Yeah, but they're important questions to ask, if we want to live a fulfilling life.
Absolutely. And I'll admit, I've definitely had times where I've felt kind of lost or unsure of my purpose.
Oh, yeah, me too, for sure.
Have you ever felt that way? Like you're not quite living up to your full potential?
Totally. I think it's something that most of us struggle with at some point. We get caught up in the day-to-day and sometimes we lose sight of the bigger picture.
Right, exactly. And so how do we start to answer those questions? Like where do we even begin?
Well, I think a good first step is to just get curious. Start paying attention to what brings you joy, what you're naturally drawn to, and don't be afraid to try new things. Step outside your comfort zone a little bit, see what resonates with you.
Okay, so it's about exploration and experimentation. Exactly,
and remember, it's a journey. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's about finding what works for you.
I love that, a journey, because that really resonated with me from this preface, was this idea that you are more than what you have done.
Oh, yeah, that's a powerful statement.
Right, like it's so easy to get caught up in our past mistakes or our regrets.
Absolutely.
But this is saying like, hey, you can let go of that.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that we're constantly evolving. We're not defined by our past.
And we have the power to change and grow.
Exactly. And it all comes back to that cemetery metaphor. If those tombstones represent unrealized potential, then we have a choice to make each day. Are we going to live a life that's full of regrets, or are we going to embrace the possibilities that are right in front of us?
Right. And it's never too late to start tapping into that potential.
Absolutely. It's about making a conscious decision to live a more intentional and fulfilling life.
And this makes me think about something I heard once called the tombstone test.
The tombstone test. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, so it's this thought experiment where you imagine you're standing in front of your own tombstone.
Okay.
And you think about what you want it to say. Like what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? What would you want people to remember you for?
Oh, wow. That's really powerful.
Right. It really puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
And it can help you clarify what truly matters to you. What are your values? What are your priorities?
Absolutely. It's a great way to get clear on how you want to spend your time and energy.
Right. Because ultimately, we all have a limited amount of time on this earth.
That's true.
And it's up to us to make the most of it.
And to remember that untapped potential isn't something to be afraid of. It's an invitation to explore, to grow, to create a life that feels authentic and meaningful.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
If you could visit your 80-year-old self, what would they say you did or maybe didn't do with the potential that you have right now? Take some time this week to really reflect on that question. Maybe even write down your answer and let it guide your actions moving forward.
That's a great suggestion.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep growing.
See you then.